Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Shooting the Shelf Wednesday One Shots. I'm Jesse Arnold, and today I have with me my very good friend, my longest friend. That came out weird. The friend I've known the longest.
That works better.
The one and only Shawn Scavarna. How you doing tonight, Shawn?
Hello. I am doing pretty darn good, I guess. How about you?
I am doing all right. I'm in the middle of getting ready for a show this weekend, so I've got a lot of different things in the fire right now, but I am happy to be here hanging out with you talking about this. Although, by the time this comes out, that show will probably be long gone and over with. So,
True.
I'm happy to be talking about this movie with you tonight.
Sounds good. Let's do it.
So, tonight we're talking about the recently released Godzilla X Kong: The New Empire. I got to see this a couple weekends ago, and it's a franchise I've been enjoying since the 2014 Godzilla came out, and it's gotten some hit or miss here and there. But overall, I've enjoyed it, including the Legacy Monsters on Apple TV. Shawn, you went. You did not go alone, correct?
Nope, I did not go alone. My son Hayden was really excited for this one. Spoiler to my story, not a spoiler to the movie, but when Godzilla -1 came out, I was like, let's go see it. Let's go see it. And he loves these kind of monster movies and all that. And the next thing I knew, 10 minutes in the movie tops, he goes, I want to leave. And so he flat out said to me, he's like, I like Godzilla when he's against something else. He didn't like when Godzilla's just tearing into people, and he's like, he was a beast. He wasn't my Godzilla. And I'm like, and then literally the next weekend, the trailer came out to this. And I'm like, aha. And he has been pumped ever since. So it was an absolute must to take him. And Evie ended up joining us too. So yeah.
Okay.
Dad and kids day out to the movies, basically.
Sounds like one of my favorite kind of memories from my childhood. So just imagine in however many years, maybe they'll be on a podcast or a hologram show, whatever it is in the future the kids do.
Yeah.
Talking about the time Dad took him to see Godzilla Kong New Empire. So
yeah. Almost the equivalent of my mom probably going, oh God, he's talking about Optimus Prime getting shot again. I bet you any money right
now. Well, very cool. Obviously, we won't. Did your kids have a good time at the movie? We'll get that one.
Yeah. My son actually sat still through the entire thing. My daughter really wasn't interested in it, but she ended up going along just because of the way that our schedule worked out. And by the end of the movie, she's like, I'm glad I went. So there you go.
Very cool. I forgot to pull a thing up so I can have my information here. So Godzilla vs. Kong, Godzilla X Kong New Empire is the latest in the series that is the 5th movie? There was Godzilla, King of the Monsters, Skull Island, Godzilla vs. Kong, and now this one. So 5 movies and the Legacy Monster show, all set in kind of this world of Monarch and all that science crew and everything. And this one was directed by Adam Wingard, who has done a couple of them. He did
the last one.
He did Godzilla vs. Kong.
Yeah.
I think he might have been he was involved with some of the other ones, I think, but he was not the director. And yeah, he's pretty good. He's done a bunch of horror movies, a couple I've seen that I thought were really good. But I really enjoyed the way he did both this one and the previous one. I have a few little nitpicks about the last. We'll just focus on this one. But overall, basic story is, we've discovered Hollow Earth in the last movie. Yeah. Scientists are experimenting in it, and they're learning stuff. And of course, as seems to be the theme since the beginning of Godzilla is, at the end of the day, a lot of man's own problems are created by man. So, worst But there's some cool stuff. A bunch of new creatures in this one.
But the mic cut out there. Sorry, I didn't catch it.
I'm sorry. Oh my gosh, that's because I have my microphone like 5 feet away from my face.
Oh, okay.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's it. It just like it randomly just cut out, so I was like, I didn't hear a word. But what was that?
I was asking if you had the they introduced a lot of new monsters and creatures in this. Was there anything other than the big two, the title characters that stuck out to you as a really cool design or a character you liked?
Yeah, so at least in Evie's case, and I guess this could be a spoiler. So if you want me to say it here, or if you don't want me to say it here, because I know. All right. So the one that I was surprised they went here, number one, and then number two, it turned out to be Evie's favorite part of the movie was the Mothra. I was really into that, and the way that they used her was interesting. And I really liked and the kids liked it too. The beast that the bad guy ape had.
The Scar King. Shimu.
I forget the name of it, but the one that would basically blast things with ice breath or whatever.
Yeah,
I know that one, and I felt bad for that thing because you could tell that thing didn't want to have anything to do with what was going on. So that was like a whole slavery thing that was, it kind of pulled at the heartstrings for me at least. So
yeah. I know they had teased some stuff for Shimo in the trailers, and of course, both of us being toy collectors, I don't know if you did, but I saw some spoilers for the creature designs. But I didn't know what the story was going to be, but yeah, I really liked that. Kind of reminded me of like a massive version of the Light Fury from How to Train Your Dragon 3.
How to Train Your Dragon, and that's basically when we got home. That's how the kids explained it to my wife. Actually, they're like, "It looked just like that, except it was," And I was like, "Well, that's kind of fun that they could, point A to point B." Explain how this monster was.
Well,
but yeah,
that makes me feel good that my mind works on the same level as kids, and your kids are pretty cool, so I feel kind of cool right now. One of the things, and again, we're in a little bit of spoiler territory. I won't give like full exposure, but I do agree with you. I loved seeing Mothra because I was not expecting that with the way that she kind of did the sacrifice play in King of the Monsters. But I know, in the old movies, like she would come back in Cocoon and all this stuff. So it wasn't anticipated, but just the way they did it, I thought was really cool. And I really liked the character. Oh, I'm blanking on the kid's name. Gia, the little girl, the
one
deaf girl.
that's the sign language girl. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought she was really cool in the last. Like, she was one of my favorite parts of the human stories in the last movie. Just the tiniest person on screen had that such connection to Kong. So I liked seeing her story progress and what they did with that. And I like that they kind of dialed back, not completely, but they took a step back from like how many people's stories we were following in this one.
Yeah. I noticed
that was a big improvement.
Yeah, because I mentioned that on the drive home with the kids. I was like, everything was Team Kong in this movie. Godzilla was just, he's there on his own basically until Mothra showed up. And, like in the last one, we had Millie Bobby Brown being on Team Godzilla, and honestly, the conspiracy theory character, I don't remember the actor's name off the top of my head.
Brian Tyree Henry.
Yeah, he was also on the Godzilla team last time around because he was with that team. But in this one, he's just along for the ride with everybody else on Team Kong, which I thought was kind of fun because then it's almost like when the blue and the gold team and the X-Men would kind of swap characters every now and then. I'd be like, oh,
Yeah.
cool, you know.
I was like, I think he's a good actor, and I know this is something we could probably talk about down the road. I know he's voicing Megatron in the new animated Transformers movie coming out later this
Okay.
year. Which I guess maybe he's not going by Megatron, but he's the guy who becomes Megatron. So I was like, really? And then I heard the trailer. I'm like, okay, maybe I'll see what they do with this. But and it's weird hearing anyone but Peter Cullen do Optimus Prime, but Chris Hemsworth giving it his all. But
Yeah.
I don't dislike the character. I feel like his character had like the comedy setting wasn't like at it wasn't mixed right for the rest of the show. Same with the last movie.
Yeah.
I liked the conspiracy theorist character, but he just felt like he was just jokes. Like even when they tried to do some of the serious stuff, it turned into a joke. But I like Dan Stevens. I thought was a fun addition. Just the way they have him come flying in. Again, minor spoiler, but the way he does like the whole like dental extraction replacement, and he's just kind of like, "Yep, no problem. I'm just swapping out kaiju teeth like it's another day in the office."
That part made me laugh, and I actually nudged my kids because I mean, you know this on a personal level. Like I don't have all of my teeth. My one front tooth is a false tooth because of a accident I had when I was in third grade down in Baltimore before we moved here. And so I do have a implant. And when I saw that, I nudged Hayden. I go, I'm like King Kong. See that? And it actually made Hayden look at me and kind of go, "That's pretty cool," you know. And I'm like, "Yeah,
Nice.
there you go."
But yeah, overall, you got Rebecca Hall was back.
Mm-hmm.
She did. I like her character again. I like some of the human characters, but I feel like they did like the last movie. Like I said, they went too much human.
Mm-hmm.
It was kind of like the Transformers movie. Like too many people. I want to focus on the monsters. I know it costs a lot to do the monsters, so it's cheaper to have human
Yeah.
interaction. So I like that they at least scaled back and tried to make it feel a little more connected, a little more like invested in the characters we were spending time with on screen instead of just hopping from like one to the next. So
yeah, I thought Dave Stevens was a good addition because he kind of lightened it up a little bit more. Like last time around, I'm trying to remember now who was it with Rebecca Hall in the last one.
Skarsgård.
Okay, yeah, and he kept playing almost like the fish out of water character, Alexander Skarsgård. That's who it was.
Yeah, Alexander. Yeah,
and he had that kind of like at the end. I remember like he did the sign language to the little girl, and he basically said he was an idiot or whatever. And it's like they had this kind of. It was like he didn't want to be a hero, but he looked too good to not be the hero in this weird straddling they made his character do. And in this one, it was kind of fun that Dan Stevens just shows up. He's got the freaking Hawaiian shirt on, and he's just like, Mr. Hey, whatever, I don't care.
Yeah.
This is my day of the week. I'm just doing this crazy stuff. And when they go into Hollow Earth, I like that he's just sitting there. He reminded me of Tony Shalhoub in Galaxy Quest when he's with the popcorn and he's all excited because he's on the away crew and all that. It was the same kind of vibe.
That was a hell of a thing.
Yeah. It's like, is there air? You don't know. Seems good to me. You know, he's got that kind of thing. And I don't know if they planned that or not, but they did a pretty good job with that. And then I was actually pretty surprised with Rebecca Hall and the little girl. That actually got some emotion out of me near the end of the movie, and I wasn't expecting that out of this at all. So I was like, credit where credit's due, because I mean, honestly, I went in just going, I just want to see them punch each other because it's a big dumb monster movie. Just have fun with it. You know?
Yeah. Well, before we wrap this up, any final thoughts, any visuals, any moments that stuck out to you?
Honestly, for me, the one visual that kills me is I just thought it was hysterical to see Godzilla make the Coliseum his nap pit, and the fact that he just curls up in there like a cat and just plops down until the next time he's needed is hysterical. It's almost like people just driving by like, hey, that's where Godzilla sleeps. You know, I mean, like, what the heck, man?
I'll say for me, minor spoiler alert again. it's not a huge plot point, but when I'm pretty doesn't he when Kong like chucks the little ape,
Mm-hmm.
or he just like sends him like flying over the like I don't know, I don't remember exactly. In my mind, he just kind of like chucks him over his shoulder. I don't think that's exactly how it played out, but that little redheaded stepchild of
Mm-hmm.
I can say that I was one ish, red-ish hair. He's just being that little antagonist, and like, he's just being like a complete little twit
Yep.
to Kong, and then he just gets in my mind, it was just like a total like Muppets moment where he just got like chucked into the backstage.
Yep. Yep. And honestly,
But
that's yet another moment I thought was good. Is I just like that little relationship. I know we didn't really get into that, but just the way that it's like at first they're feeling each other out. By the end of the movie, the little redheaded stepchild is just like, I'm Team Kong. Let's do this. And I was
yeah,
like, that
they
was pretty sweet.
they earned it.
They did.
They
They did
earned it.
earn
Like,
it.
it wasn't a huge buy, but they set stuff up and they delivered. So
Yep.
I'm excited to see where or if this franchise continues, what they'll do next. I'm always happy to see more giant monsters on the big screen. So
Big
cool.
fun
Well, Shawn, thanks
Monsterverse.
for joining us today on
No
this week's
problem.
Wednesday one shot. You'll be seeing
Glad
Shawn
to be
again
here.
in the future or in the past. I don't know. I guess I have to put this one up first. Um,
I'm around somewhere.
until next
Yeah.
time, we'll see you on the Wednesdays. Wait, where's my button? There it is.